Hello, 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 Stampin Friends. This is Caron, your ATX Stampin Lady. Come on into the craft room and let's have some fun. All right, guys, today we are going to have a little bit of a play. It's Make It Monday, and we're going to have a little bit of a play on a couple of things. I am starting to go through some of my stash that I've not used at all, but I love them enough, so I was like, look it, let's just play with stuff. So let me share with you my thought process as we create a card. Guys, if you're not familiar with my station, I am Caron Bailey, the ATX Stampin' Lady, and I am happy to welcome you into the craft room. I'm located in Austin, Texas, and I've been an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up for over 10 years, a little bit over 10 years, and I am enjoying my crafting journey. If you are interested in learning what I do in terms of the crafting, making cards, please reach out to me. You will see my contact information scrolling across the top of the screen. You can email me. You can follow me on my socials. Reach out to me through Facebook, through commenting here on my video, or any of my other social media outlets. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are returning, hey guys, I know you have so many choices of who you can spend your time with, and the fact that you are choosing to come back with me time and time again, I am so appreciative of that fact. All right, let's get started in creating a card. So the first thing I did was I had an inspiration. Well, of course, it starts with, I need to get into the craft room. That's how it always starts, and that's like an everyday thing. And then it's like, what do I want to make? So what popped into my head, I saw a video from Connie Stewart, who also happens to be my upline, and it was from her Very Cute Now Wow Holy Cow video. And I like them all, but I really wanted to learn the fold that she did in the Holy Cow version. So that was settled on. So then the next thing I decided was, okay, what kind of card do I want to do? Um, Birthday, thank you, thinking of you, whatever it was. So that kind of sent me into the type of card that I wanted to do. So I was waffling between a get well or a feel better and birthday. So I picked out a couple of options for myself, and they are the Hugs and Healing stamp set, the Encircled with Love. That's going to be where part of where my sentiment is going to come from, and the Sweet Jar bundle. Oh, I didn't tag my healing hugs. Hmm. I gotta let you know where this one came from. I believe this is in one of the catalogs. I don't believe it was an online exclusive. The the Sweet Jar is a Stamp and Punch bundle. And this was from the annual catalog, the 2025 annual catalog. And then the Encircled with Love is also from the annual catalog, the 2025 to 2026 annual catalog. I'll go back and I'll show you where that is in the catalog, or whether it's an online exclusive. I'll let you know. So I went ahead and I punched the Sweet Jar um, builder punch, and just to show you what it looked like. And of course, I'm going to end up having to use it as well. And then it was colors and designer series paper. Well, you guys, you will not find this in the catalog. So last month, if you remember, Stampin' Up had a challenge for its demonstrators. If we sold at least 10 of the kits, and of course, last month was the kit sale, right? But if we sold 10 kits, we could earn the stripes and dots designer series paper. This was an exclusive item. I don't believe it's going to be in any of the catalog. So this was just for that challenge. So let me share with you. It's all the same designs. It's just in different colorways. So this one, it's Calypso Coral, Darling Duckling, Lost Lagoon, and Petal Pinks are the colors that's in this bundle. So thanks to you guys, I earned this. And so I decided, well, let's use it. Matter of fact, the post guide came today, so this is like brand spanking new and fresh in my hot little hands. All right, so this was my thought process and how I'm going to begin my card. So measurements were already in Connie's tutorial, so I really didn't need to do a lot of thinking about it. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a piece of, in my case, I chose designer series paper. In Connie's, she chose to do a piece of cardstock and do some stamping to create her own background. I decided I wanted to use that designer series paper. So we have a piece of designer series paper that is 5¼ by 8. Okay, and we're going to score this at 2, 4, and 6. Okay, let's put that aside because we're not going to work with that right now. We have a card base, and my card base is in Petal Pink, and this is 5½ by 8½, scored at 4¼ I have a piece for the panel for the inside. I should have two pieces. Nope, did I not cut that down? Where's my second piece? Okay, I'm going to have to trim this down again. But you'll need two pieces that are 4 by 5¼ one for the inside. I did cut it. Nope, I did not. So I do need to trim this down. And then you're going to need a mat for that, and I went 1/4 inch, so it's going to be 5¼ by 4. Okay, so the basic white is one piece is 3¾ by 5. Oh, that's why. And then on the inside, it's 4 by 5¼ That's right. Okay, I will link to my blog where I have all of that information for you. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put this aside because I'm going to start working on my card front design. All right, so here we go. I'm excited to use this jar punch because sweet jar because I got it and I wanted to use it and I loved it. Now if you're not familiar, this stamp set, the sweet jar, Stampin' Up came with a jar of joy. Same jar, so it'll use the same punch, but it's more seasonal, and that was geared towards the holiday. So what I'm doing is I'm reaching out for the jar. I'm going to do a little masking in here. I'm going to do a little masking. I already punched the mask for the lid and the jar. But I got to stamp it first because I need to do some placement. Grab a block. And I'm just going to, let me just let it drop. Here's a tip for you today, especially with photopolymer. Stampin' Up, as you know, is no longer making red rubber cling stamps. They're all going to be photopolymer. And that started effective the November online exclusive release. So, as you know, photopolymer is a little sticky. So in order to sometimes move it around, make sure you have like a eraser because it will move, or something that won't stick to the photopolymer, so you can get it placed where you need it to be placed. I am doing a little bit of priming my stamp, which is what I'm doing, conditioning, and then I'm going to stamp it right in the center of this 3 3/4 by 5 card panel. Now, I want it to be where I want it to be, but if it's primed and it didn't ink it up 100%, then don't be too concerned about it, okay? Of course, you want it to be your best, but if it's not, that's okay too. All right, so then we're going to go ahead. Here's a little mask that I already punched out. Let's remove the backing. And as you can see, my Tuxedo Memento Black, there was a period where it was not available, and I needed one. And someone had the brilliant idea to get one of the Stampin' Up white, craft white ink pads and the Memento Black re-inker. And so now this became my Tuxedo Black ink pad. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I masked that off. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create 2 jars. One's going to be up here. And then I'm going to have another one down here. Okay. Still got to stamp the jar, the lid, but we're going to have a pretty lid on it, right? So let's get the inside. I think I want one of my jars to be filled with candy. Now, I'm going to go with single color, but you can go ahead and you can, with your Stampin' Right markers, and just in case you're not aware, Stampin' Up is not going to, um, the Stampin' Right markers, they're not going to be making them anymore. They are currently in our last chance items. So if you do want to go ahead and color with the Stampin' Right markers, you can make each of your candy colors a little bit different. I'm going to go in with the mindset that I only like red jelly bean or the red candy. So that's what I'm going to do, red. And for my red, I am using Poppy Parade. And Poppy Parade is from the Brights collection. Okay, I might have to bring this down a little bit so that I can see it. And this is fairly easy to line up. And then just stamp it in the jar. Okay. See? And we're going to go ahead and remove our mask. Like so. So the thing about the mask, and I'm just realizing this, with the punch, it's a little bit where the punch is, so there's a little bit of a wider, when you cut your mask, you need to cut either just inside the line or a little bit either on the line itself or just a little bit inside of the line. I just went straight with the punch, and because I went with the punch, there's a little bit of a bigger border than I wanted for my card. So I'm going to put this back, and I'm going to do, so this card that I'm making for this person, um, they really like red jelly beans. So this is a way to give somebody some red jelly beans without giving them red jelly beans, right? All right. So let's go ahead and do that. tacking back on. Because we are going to reuse, oh wait, oh no. Before I take that off, right, we need to put our lid on. And I'm going to have my lid be in, could have the same color lid, but I might want to do, let's go with Calypso Coral. Let's do a Calypso Coral lid. Okay. And I'm just going to put this lid so it's kind of sitting kitty corner. I don't think I needed the lid. Oh no, that's fine. That's perfect. Because you see the lid is behind the main jar, right? And I'm going to do another lid up here. I got to bring it down so I can see. Okay. All right. So we've got our candy, and I'm going to put right in the center. I think, oh, let's do this one. Sending a little your way. I keep forgetting to bring my chamois in here to clean off my stamps. We haven't even got to the fun fold part yet. No. Okay. I'm going to stamp. We've got the black, so I'm going to stick with the black. Perfect. And then I'm going to make sure this is straight. And then sending a little your way. And how about we send a little sweetness their way? Keep my blocks in a little jar, in my little desk next to my drawer, or next to my, a little drawer next to my desk. What is going on today? All right. And then I think I want to, I'm conditioning the stamp. Let's put, just put some. Well, Calypso Coral is our. No, let's just go with black. No, let's just do the Calypso Coral. I wanted it to be fun and cute. All right, sweetness is good. So we're gonna send a little sweetness your way. Perfect. All right. And y'all know I don't really like stark white for my cards. So I do try to break that up just a tad. Just going to break that up just a little bit. Right. I'm going to debate whether, in my mind, whether I'm going to do a lid on the sweetness. If I am going to do it, I'm going to make it a, what do you call it? I'm going to make it a, pop it up on dimension. Okay? If I do it. I can't decide yet whether I'm going to do that or not. All right, so let's get our card front complete. Guys, we are still not done with this card, okay? As always, if there's anything that you see that I utilize in the creation of these cards, I would love it if you would select me as your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and when you go to the website and make a purchase. Okay, that's done. And then I'm going to put this on our card base. Make sure our edges line up. And then we're going to burnish our fold. I'm not going to pop it up only because of the fold that we're doing on the inside. I might just do the lid, but I won't do the inside, the focal image on the front of the card. Okay, so there we have the front of our card. And guess what? We have to do this somewhat a second time. Okay. Bring that down towards the bottom. And I'm going to put this over our jar. I'm going to stamp one here. I'm going to stamp another one here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Ugh. Did not mean to do that. See, it was just there. Ugh. It was just there. Sorry, I'm trying to put my hands on my cleaning mat. There it is, I think. Is that it right there? I had this little cave under my desk. That's what I call it, a little cave. And everything is under there. All right, so that's cleaned off. Perfect. Let's clean that off. And I'm gonna change out my Poppy Parade. She has a new flavor of candy in her candy jar. Perfect. Let's get our jars on. And let's put the jar, oops, here. And here. I have some black on something, probably my nail. Because there's black specks coming in from somewhere. Not quite sure where that's coming in from. Okay, so now I'm going to just put a little bit of love in our jar. There are many steps to this card, but many steps does not mean a difficult card. Okay, just so that you are aware of that. Does not mean that it's a hard card to make or anything like that. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put, because it's hearts, I want to make sure my heart is in red. And we're just going to put our hearts in the jar. Okay. Give me just a second. Let me start putting some of this stuff away to make sure we have room for everything else that we're getting ready to do, right? All right, so we're going to set this aside and move on to this part. This is the good part. This is the fun part. So we've got our card, our designer series paper in this instance, and again, this is 5 1/4 by 8, scored at 2, 4, and 6. The center fold, which is our 4-inch fold, we're going to make it a mountain fold, whichever side you want to be prevalent. And we're going to burnish that. I don't know where my things disappeared to. I just had the bone fold. There it is. And then the other two sides are going to be valley folds. Okay, making sure they line up. Sometimes when you score, they don't line up evenly. So just take a minute, make sure they do, and then burnish that fold. Okay. And then the other side. And then perfect. So now what I want to do, I'm going to grab my Stylish Shapes dies because they're around somewhere. You have so many other options for dies that you can use. You have your deckled circles. You have your deckled rectangles. I think we had deckled squares. I don't remember. So you can use any of those in this next step. I'm going to use the Stylish Shapes, and it's going to be the second largest. And I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to end up die cutting this image. So I'm going to pick a spot that is maybe about 3/4 of an inch to an inch from the bottom. And then I'm going to try to center it so that it's equidistant on both sides in between the 2-inch score lines on each side. Okay. And then let me just grab some, what's that tape called? And I have some 3M posted tape that I do try to use. And the only reason I do that, of course, is to make sure that we have, when it goes through the die cut machine, it does not slip and slide. I think we're kind of even there. Lay this down and lay this down. All right, guys, I'm going to step away for a second just so I can get to my die cut machine, and then I will be back. All right, so now we have our little decorative innards, for lack of a better, that looks like this. You guys don't throw this out. We might be able to use this for something, okay? All right. So we're going to grab this little inner piece right here. And yes, you can put it directly in your inside of the card, but we're gonna cut it in half because this is a 4" by 5¼ So we're just going to cut this in the middle at 2. And the reason we're cutting it is so that it doesn't hinder our score line and our card from opening um, properly. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and line this up close to the score line, but just a skosh off. You could mat this as well if you wanted to. But again, you don't want to create so much bulk and thickness in the card. Okay, so again, just a skosh off of the score line, making sure we've got even top and bottom. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Thank you, Connie, for this beautiful card design or layout, this fold. And I sure do hope that you think I'm doing it justice, doing your project justice. Here we go, like that. Guys, here's the fun part, right? We're gonna go ahead, right? We're gonna always do one side first, right? Close it, and then bring the other half. Now, I'm gonna put um, score tape on that side. Actually, we can do liquid glue as well. Might be better, right? Right. Again, making sure that we line things up. About a skosh on that side. Burnish that down. Then we're going to add our adhesive. And then we're just going to close this card. And that's how we're going to get it to align. All right, let that sit for just a second. Burnish that in. And voila. Look at that. Okay. And then you can go ahead and we're going to decorate the inside of this card. So here we have these fun little shapes. And then, oh, before I forget, I always get these little bits. And I never use them because I don't do a lot of shaker cards. I think they're perfect for shaker cards. Oh, but these would look beautiful. I can't use them for this though. I can't. I gotta find another type. Hold on. Hmm. got some loose frosted dots. Let's go with those. I didn't realize I had so many. Mostly they come with the sweets, and I generally don't use them, so it is what it is. So now I am just gonna have a play. They may not match exactly, but who cares? It's our card, right? Let's just have a little fun. Okay. Grab my take your pick tool. All I'm doing is attaching these dots. Whoops. Now this punch, you can also use it to make a shaker card. Absolutely. Oh, Lost Lagoon is in these, so I can use this as a Lost Lagoon, right? I just wanted to have a little bit of prettiness on the inside. Oh, it came off. All right, we probably need to put a little bit more glue on here because it did not stick. Here we go. I think I need one of these on the inside. So do you guys have plans? We are 3 days away from Christmas. I'm going to be off to my sister's for a wonderful holiday. I always enjoy spending the holidays with my sister and her family. And I think she enjoys my company. I hope she does. We always have a lot of fun when we hang out together, my sister and I. And then a pink. All right. So I grabbed a little bit of a punch, the 1 7/8 punch, right? Because I do believe I am going to grab one of our encircled punches and do a maybe happy birthday. Let's do happy birthday. Oops, let's move these. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna stamp the. I think I'm gonna do happy birthday wishes. What do you guys think? Happy birthday? Let's go with that. we're going to stamp our birthday wish out on a piece of cardstock, basic white. And I think I'm going to do it in, let's go fun. Let's just keep it with, so Calypso Coral is in the designer paper. So we're going to stick with that. Stamp our sentiment. When I measured it out, I thought the 1 7/8 inch punch would work. And it does perfectly. Actually, I think the 1 3/4 might work. Let's take a look at the 1 3/4 and see if that'll work. No, that's not going to work. 1.5 inches won't work. All right. Well, my 1 3/4 punch is not coming readily to mind. So we're going to bypass that and just punch it out with the 1 7/8. And then we are just going to put this, I think we're just going to put it, when you open the card, what do you want to see birthday? I think we want to see our birthday here. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Trying not to cover up the jar. So that's the other thing we have to be aware of, is when it closes, where is that going to land? Inside or outside of the boundaries? Okay. Okay, so there we have our, I don't know what she called it, but it's a peekaboo fun fold card. I love it. What do you guys think? Definitely share it. Give me a thumbs up if you like the card. I'm probably going to try to make it again, maybe using some of the newer products, just to showcase that and some of our other designer series papers. But I do absolutely love this card. I will put a link to all of the products that I used into the description box. And if you want to just go ahead and take a look at anything else in my store, the information to reach out to my store is listed on the screen, www.sweetsignatures.stampinup.net. And this is Caron, your ATX Stampin' Lady. Thanks for joining me in the craft room for this Sketchy Monday created. Happy stamping!